friend. You've noticed it, haven't you? That moment when you're just minding your own business, maybe walking through a store, sitting in a cafe, or even passing by someone on the street, and suddenly their eyes lock on you. Not a quick glance, not the casual look people give when they scan a room. No, this is different. It's longer, it's heavier. It almost feels like recognition, like they're not just seeing your face, they're searching for a memory, as if somewhere deep inside they know you. And sometimes they don't even realize they're staring. They snap out of it, embarrassed, but you've already felt the weight of their eyes. You've wondered, why does this keep happening to me? Why do strangers look at you as though you've crossed paths before, even though you know you haven't? Here's the truth. It's not about your hairstyle. It's not about the way you're dressed. It's about your spirit. Your soul carries a frequency. And when you walk into a room, that frequency collides with something in them. It pulls on an ancient thread, one that whispers, "I've met this energy before." But here's the catch. They didn't meet you in this life. They met you in the unseen. Before your body ever had a name, before this life even began, your soul walked in realms where theirs did too. And when they look at you, some of them remember. Not consciously, not in words, but in a deep, unsettling familiarity that they can't explain. That's why it feels so strange to you. Because they're not just looking at your face, they're trying to place your spirit. Dear chosen one, your presence carries echoes of eternity. And when eternity brushes against someone still caught in the noise of the temporary, it startles them. It's like when you smell a fragrance that instantly takes you back to childhood, even if you can't remember who wore it. Something inside you stirs, even if your mind can't put it together. That's what your presence does to people. It's not a fragrance of this earth. It's the fragrance of heaven carried in a human vessel. This is why you've always drawn stares without explanation. Some stare with curiosity, some stare with admiration, and some stare with discomfort. Because what they feel around you exposes what they're missing inside themselves. And I know sometimes it can feel heavy. Sometimes you wish you could just blend in, walk unnoticed, be invisible. But you weren't made for invisibility. When God placed his hand on you, he also placed a mark on you. That mark announces you before you speak. It carries you into places where words aren't even needed. So when strangers stare at you like they've met you before, it's because they have. Not in this timeline, but in the eternal one. And here's the part most people won't tell you. Those stares are also confirmations. Every time it happens, it's the universe reminding you, yes, you're different. Yes, you're set apart. Yes, my hand is on you. Even the way people feel you before they know you is part of God's plan. And I want you to pause for a second and really let that sink in. You're not crazy. You're not imagining it. You're not too sensitive. You are carrying something that can't be hidden. And the truth is, it's not going to stop. The more aligned you become, the brighter you shine. The brighter you shine, the more people will stare. Because they're not seeing a person, they're seeing a reflection of God in you. And here's the shift I want you to make. Stop interpreting their stares as awkward. Start interpreting them as confirmation. Because one day, one of those strangers is going to walk up and say it out loud. I feel like I know you. And in that moment, you'll remember this message. Now let's talk about what those stares really mean for your journey. Because sometimes it's not just curiosity. Sometimes it's not even admiration. Sometimes it feels invasive, heavy, like their eyes are asking you questions you never agreed to answer. And that's because not everyone staring is recognizing your light with peace. Some are confronting something in themselves. See, when someone looks at you and feels that strange familiarity, they can't always process it. So instead of seeing it as a blessing, they project their own unresolved feelings onto you. For some, your presence reminds them of hope, the version of themselves they buried. For others, it reminds them of truth, the very truth they've been running from. And for a few, it reminds them of wounds they've never healed, and they see you as if you're the mirror forcing them to face it. That's why you felt the whole spectrum, the warm smiles from strangers who light up when they see you, the confused eyes that linger too long, like they're trying to decode you, and yes, even the cold stares, the ones that feel sharp, like they're cutting into you. My dear friend, you are walking proof that the spiritual and physical collide. You don't just walk into a space, you carry realms with you. And whether they admit it or not, people feel it. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had someone tell you, "You remind me of someone," and they'll rack their brain trying to figure it out, but they can't? It's because it's not someone on earth they're remembering. It's the version of you they brushed shoulders with in eternity, before God ever placed you here. And here's another layer. When you walk into a room, your frequency is not just neutral, it carries assignment. That's why people stare, because without words, they feel that you're not just another passerby, you are marked with destiny. Now, let's bring it down to something tangible you've probably felt. There are times when you can sense people's energy shift the moment you enter. You didn't speak, you didn't announce yourself, you just showed up. And suddenly, the room feels heavier or lighter, depending on what's in the hearts of the people inside it. That's the power of divine recognition. Your presence becomes a test, not because you're testing them, but because the light in you tests the shadows in them. And this is why God doesn't want you to resent the stares, because if you're not careful, you'll think they're staring at you, but really, they're staring through you, at the fingerprint of God that rests on your life. Let me remind you of something important. Even when the stares feel uncomfortable, they're a shield. Here's how. Some people are drawn to you with good intentions. They recognize the peace in you and want to be near it. But others, they recognize it and want to pull it apart. Those stares are an early warning system. God lets you feel what's behind the eyes so you know who's safe to invite closer and who's not. That's why your intuition sharpens in those moments. Why sometimes you feel peace when someone looks at you, and other times you feel your spirit say, "Stay away." That's not paranoia, that's discernment, and it's one of the greatest gifts you carry. Because while others walk blind into relationships, jobs, or opportunities, you're able to sense before you step. And half the time, the staring is the confirmation you need. Think about it. Why would God give you a spirit that is felt before it's understood? Because He designed you to move with foresight, not hindsight. Dear chosen one, don't let the awkwardness trick you into shrinking. You weren't given this level of visibility to hide. You were given it so the right ones could find you, and the wrong ones could expose themselves before they ever got close. And here's something that might change the way you see all of this. Every time someone stares, they're also witnessing their own spirit react to God's presence in you. That's why some people look at you with tears they can't explain, why others get nervous and fidgety when you're near, why others go quiet around you, as if suddenly the words they had prepared don't matter anymore. You didn't plan that, you didn't force it. It's the spirit inside you, moving through you, speaking louder than anything you could say. And I know, sometimes it's lonely being the one who carries that. It feels like everyone sees you, but no one really knows you. But that's also by design, because those who are meant to truly walk with you won't just stare. They'll speak. They'll step forward. They'll confirm what God has already told you in the quiet. So don't be afraid of the stares, my friend. See them for what they are. A reminder that you're chosen, that your spirit carries a signature that can't be erased, that long before anyone knew your name, heaven already wrote it down, and even strangers can feel the echo. The next time someone looks at you like they've met you before, I want you to smile inside, because they have. They met you in eternity, and in that moment, their soul remembered what their mind forgot. And instead of feeling awkward, let it remind you, you are never unseen. Even in a world that tries to make you invisible, heaven keeps making you visible. Your light speaks before you do. This is why they stare, dear one. This is why they pause. This is why they swear they know you, because deep down, they do. And before we finish, I want to share something with you. As a musician, I've started a second channel, Simplified Serenity, with soaking worship instrumentals for prayer, stillness, and deep rest. If you felt peace here today, take it with you into your own quiet time with God. The link's in the description. I'd love to see you there.